everybody, and welcome to a little bonus content here on the Canadian Football Countdown. The NFL season kicks off this week, and we're here for a NFL Fantasy Draft special. Joining you here this evening. Oh, I am way off camera there. We've got myself, Ryan, Trey's here as usual, Adam's here as usual. We'll have a couple other members as well. For our NFL Fantasy Draft special, 8-team fantasy draft, 15 rounds, full PPR league running using the Yahoo platform, and it's the CFC Discord NFL Fantasy Draft special. The CFC crew will be going head-to-head with members of our Discord community that have signed up, so we'll have a couple of them, I think, hopping in and out perhaps throughout the show here as well, and some just drafting behind the scenes. So tune in. Draft kicks off 19 minutes or so from now. One Michael Garrell is on the clock as the first team up with the first overall pick. I don't think Mike could be here on the stream, but he will supposedly be popping in after the fact if he actually makes it in time. We'll see who Mike takes with the first overall pick here, but let's bring in the others that are here this evening. Trey, how you doing?
I'm all right, guys. How are you guys doing? Didn't really do much today. Kind of a weird day today, so it's okay. Adam, I was farming until it rained.
That was pretty good. I think we got about, 50, 60 acres off, and then it started spitting, and then it started raining. Then I realized all the tarps are open and everything's out in the open. Yeah, that's not a good thing. So yeah, there's a little bit of running and chaos happening while shutting bins and making sure that, the rain doesn't get in the wheat. But overall, it's all going good.
I hate when that happens while I'm farming.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the worst thing ever, right, Brian?
Yeah, because I know farming. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody knows farming, it's Ryan Coop.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say. That's what the people say.
Yep. They don't call him Coop the farmer for nothing.
Yeah, that was my nickname in college.
Yeah, old man Coop's farm, huh?
Old man Cooper, yep.
You don't go on that farm.
Besides the one who's an actual farmer here, if any of us were an old man living on a farm, let's be real, it would be me. It would be me.
I'm not arguing this.
I got to always be like a driving distance from a racetrack or a casino or something.
All right, so we're waiting for everybody to hop in. Figured we'd hop in a little early, get things set up for the draft here. But like I mentioned, it is going to be us and members of the Discord community. And if you're wondering, what is the Discord community? Check out the link in the episode description. It's free to join us over there. We've got chatter throughout the CFL, NFL season, and different channels going on there, and you get opportunities to join us in leagues like this going forward. This one is obviously closed because we're drafting today, but opportunities going forward to hop in and out of different things there as well. So hop in the Discord. It's fun. We have a lot of fun over there, and come say hi. I'll do the usual kind of housekeeping thing before we begin and welcome other people in as well. The Canadian Football Countdown is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Game Time TV. Learn more at GameTimeTV.ca or Facebook.com/GameTimeTVMB. Also want to acknowledge that, as always, that the Canadian Football Countdown is brought to you from Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, the homeland of the Métis Nation, as well as from Treaty 4 territory, traditional territory of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and Métis Nation. All right, we've also got the live chat going throughout the night, thanks to our presenting sponsors. I see our friend XFL Mike G on AFN in the Facebook chat. Trey and I took part in a Alternative Football Network fantasy draft hosted by Mike last week, so we'll see how we do in that one, and we'll see if Trey's draft strategy has changed at all from that one. What is it? Jordan Love round 3 for you, Trey? I think you have him in every league so far.
Did I take Jordan Love in that league? Yeah, I did.
I think you did.
I played too many. What's wrong with Jordan Love?
Nothing. You just might have a hard time getting them against, we've got at least one drafter here who is a fan of the Green Bay Packers. So we've got some Vikings fans in here, some Packers fans. Adam, you're a noted Cleveland Browns fan. What are you thinking on the Browns this year? Is this the year?
Until Pittsburgh did what they did, and then Baltimore brought back Harbaugh, and pretty much the whole AFC North went into like they always do, and also Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are healthy this year now, and I don't know. I don't like my odds for the Browns this year, to be honest with you, just because of all of that. Nick Chubb's still injured. I mean, I don't know. I hope that they'll be okay. Their defense is still pretty good. I don't know. I'm not looking too optimistic, though, to be honest with you, for the Cleveland Browns in the AFC North. Trey, I can't remember. What team did you cheer for, anyways?
Me?
Yeah.
Whoever I have a parlay on. That's it, man. I don't care.
Trey's all about the team of opportunity.
Yeah, whoever's got the best parlay odds, man, help me. Whoever, when it's Sunday night and I have one game left and I need the parlay hit, that's it. Whoever's on my fantasy team. I really don't care that much. There's more certain players I just can't stand, and the Cowboys that I can't stand. And other than that, I really don't care. But yeah, your division might be the toughest division in the league this year. I think if there's barring any crazy injuries, I wouldn't be shocked if every team in that division is 9-8 at least. You know what I mean?
I don't think every team in the division could make the playoffs, but I mean, they probably will be good enough to.
Hypothetically, they could with the new third wild card, but I doubt it.
Pretty tough in the AFC. I mean, You're going to tell me that Kansas City and Buffalo and
they're going to win their divisions, but Miami's good, so that's probably another wild card.
Miami's good.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike. I'm not going there.
The Cowboys?
My sympathies, Mike. My sympathies.
Yeah.
I think this got to be do or die, though, for San Fran this year, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, yeah.
Like,
I think as long as they have their quarterback on his rookie contract, I think they're fine. But once they have to maybe pay him, that's when everything's going to go haywire too, because they're paying CMC and Ayuk and
Brock Purdy's getting literally nothing right now. He lives in a treehouse.
What did I see? He gets $600,000, and he invited the whole team over for supper last week. I saw, and I'm like, geez, that cuts into your.
And his house is a treehouse.
Oh,
9-year-old Brock Purdy must just love himself right now.
The nice thing about doing this draft the day before the season starts is that, like, most of these contract situations, you mentioned Brandon Ayuk, have been sorted out by the point when we start this draft. So, will Jamar Chase play in week 1? I think is the biggest question mark right now. Supposedly he showed up to practice today. So maybe that will iron itself out.
What's going on with Christian McCaffrey? Why is he questionable? I'm honestly, I haven't caught up on all my NFL news.
Sorry, you go.
I think he was injured a little bit in the preseason, so there was a question mark there. But
that's his big thing. He'll never play all 17.
He's always injured once. I know that, but I mean.
So you just hope he's healthy for you during the fantasy playoff season, and that's hit and miss because that's usually right before the end of the regular season when he's usually hurt, and then he gets healthy for playoffs. So we'll see.
XFL Mike, I see, has put on there to try to get me aggravated a little bit. Brownie's in trouble if Watson can't run the offense. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we got nobody else behind Deshaun, really. I don't think so. That could be a challenge.
I'm much like Trey. I don't have a team. I'm just whichever fantasy team I enjoy watch, or whichever players I have in fantasy that I can enjoy. My team is Scott Hansen in Red Zone. That is my team. That really is the man I root for. As I see, we've got one of our Discord members joining us here backstage. page. If I get a thumbs up, I'll bring them in on the stream. If you can give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready there, Richard, and we'll bring you on. Wait for that.
Trey, I could see the smoke. All the smoke, Trey.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think I see a thumbs up, so I'm going to bring him in.
Got it.
It's Richard. Richard from the Discord. First time appearance on the show. He played in the Fantasy League with us last year, the NFL League. Noted BC Lions fan. Either the top or second top BC Lions fan in the Discord community. I think it's arguable. I'm just kidding. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. So I'm going to say thank you for accommodating the late start. I would not have been able to attend the draft otherwise. So.
Yes, absolutely. Happy to have you here. One of the most active members of the CFC Discord community, longtime listener of the show, active commenter on the YouTube, and so much that he's forced his kids to watch us. So,
for the record, they're beating me in all my leagues. So, yes.
Will they be playing into the draft strategy at all tonight? Do they have any say in the war room?
They don't. They are in bed. So, yeah. So, it will make me not having to mute as many times. So, Trey, don't worry about no kids tonight. So.
Yeah.
So, Richard, while we got you here, I know
That's
usually
fine.
we, and I know this is NFL, but what's your thoughts on Nathan Rourke for the first 3 games here so far?
I mean, my take would probably be about what I kind of expected, going to be some rust, finally putting things together a little bit here and there. So, I mean, the coaching staff is kind of giving him the reins to run the show. So, yeah, we'll see what these next couple weeks hold. I don't know if we'll have a bit of a shorter leash now that Vernon Adams is healthy, but I'm guessing
VA's ready to go now, or
he's been practicing in full all week. So, and I believe he's announced as his kind of A1 starter. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I know Rourke's starting, and Vernon Adams is ready to go if need be. So,
perfect, right?
Yeah, just getting things set up here, trying to help one of the league members get into the draft room. I believe first time using the platform. So
I guess I better get over to
if y'all can filibuster while I get that organized, that would be great.
Yeah, otherwise it becomes a very boring-looking live stream for us.
It does. Let's go into draft order. So Mike is at first overall. We talked about that. I have the second overall pick. Don't love that, to be honest. I prefer a later round pick, but I'll take it. I'll make do. Trey, you are at pick number 3. How are you feeling about that?
Is that what I had in the other draft too?
I think you had 2.
Okay, well, that's fine. I take 3 over 2, honestly. So I'm feeling fine because we all know Mike's going to take CeeDee Lamb, the big Cowboys fan, and him and whoever's ahead of me could take CMC, and that's fine. I don't want those guys. So we're good.
For the guys, also, what the heck, Ryan? No duck race this year?
When did I have time, Adam? When did I have time?
Come on now.
I mean, I would have done it if I would have been not in a combine. Anyways, since there's no duck race, I consider these picks unofficial. And
Oh, okay. That's how this works. Is that your excuse when you lose?
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
Picking 4th overall is new Discord member Jeremy, a friend of the show, friend of Mike's. So I think that makes him a friend of the show. Picking 5th overall is Neil, one of our newest Discord members as well. Noted Green Bay Packers fan, I hear. So we'll see if that plays into his picks. Number 6 on the board is one Adam Stewart. How are you feeling about pick number 6, Adam?
I like it. I think that's actually a really good spot to be in, and I look forward to my picks.
Right on. And Richard, you've got pick number 7, the second last pick in the first round.
yeah, I'm looking forward to a quick turnaround to round 2. Maybe I can double up on a couple of better players, but we'll see what happens.
And then we've picking last pick of the first round, 8th overall. We've got a new Discord member and also friend of Mike's, so friend of the show, Kent. Team name Too Bad McCarthy 24. I have a feeling he's a bit of a Minnesota Vikings fan, so we'll see if that plays into his pick selections here. Over under on Sam Darnold going in the first round. Let's see.
Oh. Kick him out of the league if someone does that. Oh, man.
And a Seahawks fan yourself, right, Richard?
I am a Seahawks fan. Yeah, I actually overlap with Vikings. I married a Minnesotan, so I have been adopted into their the Purple People Eaters. So, but yep, Skull
Vikings.
All right, let me pull up the draft board on the stream for people to see, and hopefully people will be able to see this, and it won't be too tiny. So like I said, we're about 4 minutes away. I guess you can't see the timer. We're about 4 minutes away from the start of the draft. First overall pick going to Mike. Again, 8 teams, 15 rounds. We will be drafting, I believe it is each week we'll be starting 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, which can be a wide receiver, running back, or tight end, a kicker, and a defense, 6 bench spots, and you do have 2 IR slots that you can put players in. In terms of scoring system, it is a snake draft as well. So last pick of round 1, we'll have first pick of round 2. Scoring system is your standard fantasy football scoring system. PPR leagues, so point per reception is most notable in that category. And new this year, new option for kickers. It instead of just 3 points if you get a 30-yard or a 39-yard field goal, it's 1 point for every 10 yards. So a 39-yard field goal is now 3.9 points. Could make a big difference. Probably still wouldn't draft a kicker in the first round, but you could if you want. Really, we will have 90 seconds to pick, each of us as well. Yahoo is trying to tell me what to do with the second overall pick, and I really don't want to listen to it, so I'm just going to close that video that just popped up on my screen. And we'll be ready to go here in a couple of minutes for draft night. I'm excited. Opening week of the NFL season, kicking off tomorrow, Thursday already. What was the game? Opening game, Trey? We just talked about it.
Chiefs and Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens and KC.
Beginning to start off the season.
Didn't Kansas City lose their opening game last year to Detroit?
They did, yeah.
KC's been rough early in the season the last couple of years, I feel like.
Yeah. Notorious slow starters.
Well, over under and how many times we see Taylor Swift on Thursday. I think that's the biggest question.
Well, she was the most featured in the NFL's little promo video over any of the players. So,
didn't you read on Twitter? It's all a conspiracy theory.
Oh, I could have told you that before, man.
The coin should have a team. All auto picks.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said, but we couldn't think about the logistics of that.
Sorry, my coin is just reserving just strictly to CFL this year, Mike. We'll figure it out for next year. Also, it's hard to find a loony in NFL stuff.
I'm interested about this Friday game in Brazil. I wonder, sounds like it's probably sold out, but it sounds like you're not allowed to wear your team colors outside the stadium because green's a major gang in Brazil. So that's smart, putting Packers and Eagles.
Whoops.
Oops.
Although nobody will mess with whatever gang that green is right there.
I bet in the next 10 years, every team's going to have to play a international game, it seems like.
Oh, yeah. They're coming to Canada one of these years.
All right. They'll be back here. They got another couple in Germany. They got the England ones.
Wouldn't be surprised it'll be Vancouver too.
Maybe.
Do they ever play in Asia, do you think?
Oh yeah, they'll go to Beijing or to China's got lots of money. They'll want them.
Well, I could see like Saudi Arabia or something too. They'll just put up ridiculous money because they got everything going on over there.
Well, even like Qatar or something, they all have these big soccer stadiums, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll use the same stadium and they'll just modify it for NFL.
Yeah.
All right, the draft has begun, and first overall pick goes to Michael Garrell with Christian McCaffrey. Generally, no surprise there, but it's Mike, and he is a big Cowboys fan, so I think there must have been some consideration for CeeDee Lamb there for sure. But Christian McCaffrey goes first overall to Team Mike. And that means I'm up next at number 2. And I was really hoping he'd take Lamb just so that I could take McCaffrey, but that didn't happen. And so now I guess I'm second on the board. And you know what? I will, as soon as I can find it on my screen, because it's covered by my live stream. There we go. I'll take CeeDee Lamb. I think Lamb's going to be dynamite again this year. He's got his contract sorted out.
He's going to be partying with all that money, though. Come on.
Yeah.
Trey is up at number 3.
Yeah, I know.
Trading to pick Trey, or what are you thinking about?
Oh, man.
Here's where we need that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music.
Honestly, man. Like I don't know.
43 seconds on the clock for Team Trey, and he's not able to join us on the stream, but Neil, who is picking 5th overall, is in the draft room chat, and I suppose is listening along because he says KC didn't have Kelsey or Chris Jones last year, week 1, when they lost to the Detroit Lions.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Trey is running out of time on the clock. Tyreek Hill to Team Trey. What do you like about Tyreek Hill?
He's got more baby mamas than me. That's simply it.
Best answer ever.
4th overall to Team Jeremy goes to Breece Hall, or it goes with Breece Hall. Bijan Robinson next off the board, so a couple of running backs running so far.
Team Adam, I think, is going to make a pick that I don't know if I should have yet, but I'll take it.
Okay. Justin Jefferson off the board at number 6. I have a feeling that's not going to sit too well with the Vikings fan going at number 8, but I like it.
Amon-Ra, that's a good choice. I wanted him if I didn't take Tyreek.
Yeah, what do you like about Amon-Ra St. Brown, Richard?
He's tough. He's got good hands.
Oh, quarterback. Sorry. All right, my bad. It's not quarterback getting taken.
Yeah, and Richard is back on the clock. 8th overall, Saquon Barkley and CJ Stroud, the first quarterback off the board in round number 2. Coming back on the turn here. Jamar Chase going over to Richard. Back-to-back wide receivers there. Chase involved in our big trade last year, I believe, between the two of us. Helped me out a couple of weeks there. I look forward to trading for him from you again.
Yeah, well, let's see if he does better for me. He started off the year good, but then he faded pretty hard because he got injured.
Oh, you have to take a quarterback too. Why are you guys ruining it?
Josh
Quarterbacks going early. Josh Allen going to Adam, one of the top quarterbacks in the CFL.
And also the NFL.
NFL. Sorry, yes, the NFL. I have a lot going on my screens here. If I slip up, that is why I should get ready because I have another pick coming up here shortly. 8-team draft is throwing me off a little bit because I've been doing a lot of 10-team drafts and 12-team drafts, and there's a lot of good players left on the board here.
Definitely a lot of people going off the board.
And yes, that plays into it as well. And we're back to Trey on the clock. I guess I should go through the run of picks. Adam picked Josh Allen, Neil with Jahmyr Gibbs. So Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs there. Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson for Team Jeremy, who is auto drafting currently. Trey, you go with Jonathan Taylor to pair with Tyreek Hill. What do you like about Jonathan Taylor while I work on my pick?
He's a running back. That's about it at this point. I don't know. Adam and this other guy threw me off with these quarterbacks in the second round. My board's all messed up now.
Yeah, there's always something.
Coming up. I know you're fine.
There's always something that throws you off in the draft. I'm trying to get into Mike's head here a little bit and see where Mike's going to go with this pick. He is back-to-back ones. That's a really hard thing to do.
Just a reminder, quarterbacks are going right now.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know. Dak is coming up here.
I think I'm going to go. I took him in our draft last week that Trey and I did with my first pick as well, and I really go with A.J. Brown. I think that Philly offense this year is just going to be dynamite. New offensive coordinator in place, Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Mike goes with Puka Nacua to round out round number 2. Rookie receiver last year, lit up the league there, and looking to improve on that. I like the pick there. He was in consideration for me. And we kick off round number 3 in the draft.
I'm gonna come put a hole in your tire, Adam. Like you know that, like your tractor tire. You know that, right?
Well, for picking a quarterback in round 2?
Yes.
Why?
$6,200. I'm just warning you.
That's fine.
I just put one on. It ain't pretty, man.
That's fine.
You better go get Dak, Mike. You know you need him.
Oh man,
you can't run without Dak.
Do you put the tires on when you spray that gasoline and then light a match and let it explode? No, you don't do that.
That's a bad idea. No, you could do it, but I mean, there's some guys who do. I got that like real heavy clay, or kind of like goo or kind of like grease. You put that around the bead, and then it pushes it out eventually because it seals it up.
Derrick Henry going to Mike in round 3, moving over from, was he in Tennessee before, now over to the Baltimore Ravens. And it's me back on the clock here again. I don't have a running back yet. I was hoping Derrick Henry would make it back to me. He didn't, so that sucks.
Derrick Henry, just a curiosity. How old is Derrick Henry?
He's getting pretty old, right?
Mid-30s for sure.
Mid-30s, yeah.
Let's see. I'll Google real quick here.
That'll help you feel good about him not being there.
That's fair. That is fair. But this is also the best offense he's been on in years also.
Fair enough.
A little more juice there for him maybe. But
he's 30 years old. My bad. He just feels like he's been in the league forever, but I guess 8 years for a running back is pretty long.
He's got a lot of hard miles on him, that boy.
Yeah.
I am a little bit worried that Kyron Williams, because apparently he's handling punt duties, is going to be a problem for him. But how many punts is he actually going to return in the NFL with their punt return rules? I think I'm going to take Kyron Williams here in round 3 as my first running back off the board. I think I picked him up off waivers in our Discord league in week 1 last year and led me all the way to losing in the first round of the playoffs. So.
Sounds about right.
He's the Trevor Harris of the league then? Just good enough to lose you a playoff game?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, some days he'll go off for 30 points and some days he won't get the ball in the end zone. as we wait for Team Trey in the war room to lock in their pick as well. Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor, the first two off the board for Team Trey so far. And Nico Collins. You're high on the Houston wide receivers, I've noticed so far from a couple of drafts, Trey.
I think they're going to be really good this year. I think CJ Stroud in the second round is way too early, but I wouldn't be shocked if it might pay off. I guess I think he'll. Who's in that division? They got to be one of the best teams in the AFC South.
I would put them up there, yeah.
Because Indy's probably going to be man again. Jacksonville and why am I blanking? Whatever the other team is.
This is why we're a CFL, not an NFL show.
Yeah. I should know. I'm just blanking. I could probably name them every
Jacksonville, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Houston in the AFC.
Yeah,
so,
Tennessee I can't see being good. Indy I can't see being too good. Jacksonville, I never know with them. And then
let's see. Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie wide receiver out in Arizona, goes in round 3 to Jeremy. To Neil goes Cooper Kupp. So 3 LA Rams off the board in the first 3 rounds. Adam going with the first tight end, Travis Kelce. You had him on your team last year. Do you think there's more Taylor Swift magic in the cards for Travis Kelce this year?
Well, hopefully he watches the game more and doesn't actually, keep watching Taylor Swift in the sidelines like always. But you know what? I figure he's going to have a decent year.
Richard, you go next with Sam Laporta, so you take the second tight end off the board. I'll come back to you after you make your pick because you're right back on the clock here again. Get your take on both of your picks here. But to Kent at the end of the turn here, Joe Mixon for the second running back, and then George Kittle, the third tight end off the board. So a bit of a run from the teams late in the draft board here on quarterbacks and tight ends in the first couple of rounds. We'll see how that affects everybody else's draft strategies. As Richard, you are back on the clock for your next pick.
Yeah, I feel like I need a running back.
You do not have one yet, and you do now. So you started with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You went to Jamar Chase second, and then your last 2 picks, Sam Laporta and Travis Etienne Jr. What do you like about them?
Yeah, well, last year my tight end was George Kittle predominantly, and he was definitely hot or not. It was just feast or famine with that guy. So some games he got me 30 points, some days he got. So I just wanted a little more consistency, 3-4 catches a game, 50, 60 yards. Give me some steady, production that I can kind of count on. Whereas George Kittle, I could not count on. Some days he just blocked a whole game. So
that was definitely the case last year for sure. Adam, you go Devon Achane as your first running back off the board. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, last year I had really good luck with him. Most year games he gave me a lot of good points, and kind of garbage time sometimes with Miami was up big. So I think it might help me again this year. So we'll try it out.
I feel like he's one of the guys that is either going to be a top running back in the league or is going to get injured or split time or something like that, right? Like it's one of those ones that the potential is massive there. A bit more risk maybe than a safe play, but the potential if it hits is massive for you as we wait for Neil here in round number 4 to lock in his pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see where he goes here. You know what? Not a Green Bay Packer, but a former Green Bay Packer, Devontae Adams with the Las Vegas Raiders here in round number 4. We wait for the auto draft pick here. Drake London going off the board. I've got Drake London in 2 other leagues. I really like him. I think having Kirk Cousins there at quarterback this year, having Arthur Smith gone and banished from Atlanta is going to be a huge help for anybody in that offense.
Yeah.
And Trey, you took a guy that I had my eye on, so I'm a little disappointed that you took DJ Moore off the board. You want to talk about him?
I just think if the Bears are going to be good this year too. I think that an NFC North might be interesting. I think the Packers will be really good. I think Detroit will be really good. I think Chicago will be better, and probably the worst team will be the Vikings, unfortunately. So I think I think Caleb Williams is going to have it'll be interesting to see what he does there in Chi-Town.
Well, I'm up next on the board. Trey's first-round draft pick, Tyreek Hill, did go and say that he thinks Jalen Waddle is going to be the number one fantasy wide receiver on the Miami Dolphins this year. So Tyreek Hill knows quite a bit about football, I think. So I'm tempted to trust his judgment, and I think I'm going to take Jalen Waddle here in round number 4. If he can stay healthy, I think both of those guys can be top-tier fantasy receivers. And I didn't get Waddle in another league where I really wanted him, so I feel like I had to go and grab Waddle here in round number 4.
No, I wanted him, but I didn't want to double dip with Hill and him. The 3 stacks might work in the CFL with 9 teams, but 32 teams, you need to spread it out.
This got to be Zach and Ezekiel, right? These next 2 picks.
No, man, I'm going to take Zach in the last round, or Deke in the last round.
Zach and Deke, the classic 2 Dallas Cowboys. I think it might
this
be
is why I don't follow the NFL that close.
Zeke. Oh my god. Oh.
Is Zeke even a starting running back in Dallas? I think Rico Dowdle actually is going to be getting the bulk of the carries this year.
That's fine. I'm going to start Zeke week 1 in our other league, Ryan.
Do we play each other in week 1 in that league?
No, we played twice though. I checked. We play like week 3 and near the end or something.
In CFL fantasy this week, there's the perfect CFC triangle. I play Trey one league, and Adam and Trey play each other in the other. So it could be a bit of a feisty week.
If it's the podcast one, I stopped caring. It's the Discord one I'm trying in. So.
Well, it's the same roster.
I know, which is weird, but my standings are completely different. So.
I mean, I'm just planning the parade in Theodore and seeing if it goes down Main Street and then turns over onto Christopher and then goes around that way and then back over for the private fantasy league. I mean, definitely probably going to win that one.
Oh, I didn't think anyone would take Lamar. Oh, man.
And that's the beauty of NFL fantasy starting up. Not only do we get to be triggered by CFL fantasy every week, we get to be angry double the amount now. Gotta love it. Mike goes with Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints. So Puka Nacua, Chris Olave, his first 2 wide receivers there. Lamar Jackson in round 5. A very balanced draft board here for Mike so far. Looking at the players available, I think I'm going to go to a guy that I think is going to be a workhorse over in Green Bay this year. From the Raiders. I'm going Josh Jacobs. I think there was concern, I heard, that A.J. Dillon seems to always be that guy that took reps away from Aaron Jones and things like that, but he's on the injured reserve. So I believe Jacobs is going to get a lot of carries over there in Green Bay this year in a very exciting offense.
Where did the other guy from Green Bay go?
Aaron Jones went over to the Vikings, I think.
Oh, he's a traitor.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't like each other over there.
I do hear that. It's almost like Bomber and Ryder fans. You'd never see them on the same podcast.
It's like the
almost never see them on the same podcast.
Almost. Yet somehow we still brought Adam in.
Too good.
You have to appear unbiased, right? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, we try. And by try, I mean, yeah, no.
What do you mean? I'm completely unbiased towards. I only care about the team that buys my fandom, as I put on the BC Lions hat. Or Richard and I have matching BC Lions hats. It's great.
Well, they didn't buy my fandom, but what the heck?
Wow. Trey, you go with Isaiah Pacheco. It seemed like you were groaning a little bit. Did I take Jacobs?
Yeah. That was my play, but no, that's fine.
So are you going to be taking some smack talk with Ryan on the show this week there, Adam, by putting the the Alouettes hat on?
I mean, I could. I probably could see somebody getting chased around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic Banjo Bowl week, and Adam and I will pick sides of the rivalry of BC and Montreal.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There's no other game that we know of going on this weekend.
No. A lot of football going on this weekend. It's going to be a fantastic weekend of sports. CFL triple header on the weekend. NFL kickoff.
I cannot wait until Edmonton wins that next game and is like right in the standings.
Oh, so good. They're coming back.
They are. They're coming back.
All right, Adam,
I
you're
am
on
so
the clock.
tempted to do this just to drive. It's not the right place to pick them, but it's so tempting to do to drive Trey insane.
Don't.
Okay.
Were you going to pick Ezekiel Elliott in round number 5?
Gosh.
No. Oh, then who are you taking? I don't care.
I was going to take Love just to go.
Take Love. I don't care. I don't need a quarterback.
No, quarterbacks are overrated, right? Speaking of quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts was the next one after Trey picked Pacheco. Then Brandon Ayuk off his fresh contract, going to kneel in round number 5. So 3 straight wide receivers there. After starting back-to-back running backs, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk. Adam, you've got a mix of everything through the first 4 rounds. Are you going to go defense or kicker now, or are you going to double up on a position?
Oh, I'm taking a look here what I want to do. I got to think. No. Yeah, what the heck?
Stephon Diggs in round number 5, going from the Buffalo Bills to the Houston Texans. Could pay off. Could be a good pick for you.
That and also Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs on my team. I mean, I had to.
Even then, they're on separate teams. I like it. I think that the offense in Houston is going to be explosive this year, but I'm scared. I'm scared that there's too many for the ball to go around, that I don't know which receiver is going to be the top one to take. Right? Especially, I feel like the NFL, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, like CFL, you've got 4 wide receivers out regularly, sometimes 5 or 4 or 5 regularly. NFL, you get a lot of downs where there's only 2 or 3 guys out there, right?
Yeah. Especially if you have a tight end.
Richard, you go with another running back. The hometown boy, so to say, from the Seattle Seahawks, Kenneth Walker. You've got the inside scoop probably better than any of us on him. What do you like on Kenneth Walker? Or do you want me to come back to you because you are on the clock again?
No, this one's easy. So
after Kenneth Walker, Terry McLaurin and Jake Ferguson going to Kent at the end of the 5th and beginning of the 6th. So 2 tight ends in 3 rounds there. Interesting strategy. And Deebo Samuel going to Richard here in round number 6. So Kenneth Walker, Deebo Samuel, tell us why you love him.
Kenneth Walker, I like him because we mostly picked him so that I had someone to cheer for when Seattle plays. So, there's that. And I do think that they like to run the ball. When he's healthy, he definitely has some breakaway speed. And, I'd like to see him. If he can stay healthy, he'll be a good running back through the season. So, Deebo Samuel, what's to say? That man is a game changer on that team. When he's out or he's not playing for them, they're a totally different team. So they can run him, they can throw to him, they can do he does everything. It's the Swiss Army knife for them. So
absolutely. Adam's back on the clock. Running out of time here, Adam. The clock is ticking.
Oh, I'm aware.
Just dragging it out. Feeling the pressure. It's going to start counting down for you now. You probably hear the sounds.
No, there's no audio to me, but okay.
Patrick Mahomes. So 2 quarterbacks here, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Adam, what's up with that?
I am taking quarterbacks early, and I'm making sure I get my guys. I was annoyed because I wanted Jalen Hurts in this spot, but
Me too. Yeah.
I didn't get him, so I took Patrick Mahomes.
See, this is the problem with this league that I can sense Trey feeling the same thing here, is that any strategy of punting on any position goes out the window when the top in an 8-team league, the top 24 quarterbacks might be picked by round 10. Because everybody's doubling up, and I see XFL Mike G in the Facebook chat giving a thumbs up and saying nice after we know his strategy from last week in the AFN draft of always taking 3 quarterbacks. Interestingly, so hey, it gives you depth. One of them goes down, you got a backup. As James Conner goes next in round 6 to Neil, and we wait for Jeremy's pick here. James Conner, let's see, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Conner. That's a nice running back room there. James Cook goes here at the 5th pick of the 6th round. I'm a little bit annoyed by that. He was the next running back I was looking to pick up in this round, so I'm a bit disappointed there, to be honest. But
we have to start 2 running backs, right? 2
running backs each week, yep. Okay. And Trey going with Cade Otton of the Tampa Buccaneers. What do you like about Cade Otton?
He's a great blocker.
Man, you keep asking the same question. It's going to be the same answer. I know you're just trying to get content. He's a tight end, and he was top on the board.
You tried to be mean to him like Farhan to our rookie.
My whole draft strategy has been completely thrown out when Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes goes to the same idiot. So I mean, like.
Well, now I'm thrown off because I didn't picture Cade Otton going off the board once in this draft. Never mind in round number 6. So
he was like the 3rd top tight end that was remaining.
Oh, was he?
Just kidding. No, he wasn't. I was scrolled down. That's okay.
Oh no.
That's okay. We'll pick it up.
All right. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense if you were scrolled down. Well, I'm going to take the guy. You know what? I'll continue the run of tight ends here, and I'm going to take the guy that I think will be the number 1 tight end in the NFL this year, and that's Trey McBride of the Arizona Coyotes. I think he was fantastic last season.
For the Arizona who?
Yeah,
Arizona Coyotes, Arizona Cardinals.
There you go.
Just checking.
Yeah, thanks for correcting that. There aren't even any Arizona Coyotes anymore, so that would be a terrible draft pick if that was the case. Neil in the chat says a lot of ball game left for Trey. Maybe Trey's just playing the long con, trying to throw us off in round 6 by scrolling halfway down the draft board. Mike felt the pressure from the run of tight ends here and took Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills in round number 6. And he's back on the clock in round 7. I'm interested to see where Mike goes here. I've got 2 picks in mind. I'm hoping he doesn't take either of them. But I don't know if either of them is going to make it all the way back to me, which is part of my problem. So I think I will have to choose one of them.
Flip a coin. I hear it's trending.
You need a coin? Or?
Yeah,
that was the plan if we could not get an even number of draft teams, was to somehow use the coin to pick for an 8th team if we needed, but we did not figure out the logistics. Mike is running out of time on the clock, and the pick is coming in, and it's Rachaad White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Was a stellar running back last season there, Rachaad White. What do I want to do here?
You need a kicker.
I do. That's going to come in round 15. That right now. That's generally how I draft. You know what? I would like this one other guy, and maybe he'll fall to me. But I've wanted this quarterback in every draft I've been in so far, and I haven't gotten him yet. So might as well just go for the full-on Arizona Cardinals stack and take Kyler Murray to go with Trey McBride here. I think Murray, once he was healthy and back in last year, looked good. He had, good rushing ability there. And I think a healthy year from assuming Call of Duty doesn't come out, or at least until Call of Duty comes out, is going to be good for Kyler Murray. Trey, you went straight back to the tight end position. Felt you needed a bit of a boost there, perhaps, with David Njoku.
Oh yeah. That was what I meant to do the first time. That's okay.
Well, there will be enough players left on the board at the end of the draft that you can drop K. Dotton and probably still pick up somebody pretty good at that point. So David Njoku goes there. Mark Andrews going at the 7-4. I feel like that's wild to see Mark Andrews go as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th tight end off the board as one of the guys, if healthy, one of the top in the league. DK Metcalf going with the next pick, so it doesn't make it back to you, Richard. Did you have your eye on him as another Seattle Seahawk?
I did not, actually. He was not. I just don't have enough faith in the quarterback room in Seattle right now to really feel like they're gonna. Yeah, I need to see more from the quarterback to.
Who is the quarterback room there in
well, they have. Shoot, I'm blanking on their starter.
Is it still Geno?
Yeah,
Geno is their starting, and then they got the backup from Washington, or he started in Washington, I think, for a while.
Oh shoot, what was his name? He was actually pretty good for fantasy last year.
He was
Sam Howell. Sam Howell.
Howell, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Backup.
Anthony Richardson is your first quarterback off the board, I believe. Richard, did you have your eye on him this whole time, or was he kind of a backup based on?
He wasn't my top pick, but I had him last year, and he was money until he got injured. So he'll get you the. Oh shoot! I'm back up again, aren't I?
You are back up, so take your pick here. The rushing ability of Anthony Richardson was really the strong part that we saw those first couple games last year. Rookie wide receiver Rome Odunze off the board from Chicago at the end of the round here. And the first kicker off the board, Brandon Aubrey from the Dallas Cowboys. That's no surprise that he's first off the board. That guy was insane as a kicker last season. So good there. You go back to Alvin Kamara. So I believe you have both pieces of last year's trade deal now, Richard. With Kamara.
Somehow I did. Yeah, Kamara was good for me last year. I actually really enjoyed his production. It was very consistent. So
my favorite stat line for Alvin Kamara last year was his game where he had 13 receptions for 36 yards, and that was the fantasy dream. 13 3-yard receptions. Adam, you had Mike Evans in the last round. You went Michael Pittman here. So thoughts on your two wide receivers?
I think both of them will give me decent yardage. I mean, I like Pittman Jr., especially if Richardson can get going here. See what happens here. Mike Evans, that's more of a flyer, but he did have over 1,000 yards last year. So I think he'll hit over 1,000 again, and we'll have a good year.
Doesn't he have like the longest streak in NFL history of consecutive 1,000-yard seasons or something like that, Mike Evans? I think it's been at least 10 or something like that.
He's consistently getting 1,000 yards. I mean, that's like the most consistent pick you could possibly make.
Packers fan Neil takes Jordan Love as his quarterback. No surprise there. I kind of figured that was going to happen. First defense off the board here, the San Francisco 49ers defense.
Tua.
Trey goes with Tua. Is that your first quarterback off the board?
Sure.
That is. So stacking Tua with Tyreek Hill.
I just want to call my team Huck Tua. That's it.
Of course. I'm up on the board here. The guy I was debating between last round did fall back to me in the draft. So I'm going to go with Rashee Rice and enjoy him until his suspension comes into play, whenever that may be for his offseason shenanigans. But I am going to, I'm going to go with Rashee Rice here. I think he is going to be the number one wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs this year again and continue that connection with Patrick Mahomes.
Come on, Mike. You know you have to do the Dak and Zeke. Nah, that's no fun. You had to do the Dak and Zeke connection.
I almost took Dak just so he couldn't, but
he'll take him as his second one later on. As we say hello to Chris, who's joined us in the YouTube chat as well. Hey, Chris. The Devontae Smith going to Mike in round number 8 here. And he is on the clock once again at the start of the 9th round. So 5th round, we're at round number 9. Lots of good players still left on the board because it is a small team draft. We'll see where everybody goes. How's everybody feeling about their teams so far? Adam?
Good with some things, not so good with others, but we'll see how it goes here. I do like having my quarterbacks pretty solid, and I got that, but I'm a little nervous about my about my running backs.
oh, it's almost like you shouldn't draft 2 quarterbacks in the first 6 rounds or something.
Somebody's going to want one of those quarterbacks, and I'm going to charge them the living daylights for them. You watch.
Somebody pulls that draft strategy in every single league, and it never works. As somebody who tried to hoard the BC Lions in our CFL league, and look where I'm at now, scrambling to find quarterbacks. By the way, Trey, where are we at on our trade deal? Message me back later.
Oh, yeah, we're talking trade.
Oh, come on. Trey, you better not.
All right, because I was talking to both of you. I forgot. It was a long day today. Yeah, I'll talk to one or both of you. Oh, man.
I'm back up on the clock here after Mike goes with George Pickens. I like that pick, promising young receiver. Probably really the only notable receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers for Russ to throw to. And it's me again on the docket here, and I'm looking at. I don't love a lot of the running backs, but I'm a little short on running backs, and have a pretty good slew of wide receivers. So I think I do need to go with the running back here, and you know what? I'm going to pair with what Adam had earlier with Devon Achane. I'm going to go Raheem Mostert. He can stay healthy. I think he's still going to get a decent number of carries in there. He was the top 5 fantasy running back in the NFL last year or something like that. But probably not my top pick. But don't love a lot of the running back options right now. And I don't know if I wanted to go with a 5th receiver that I will likely not play most weeks. Richard, how are you feeling about your team at this point in the draft through 8 picks?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of hard to know who's gonna kind of have that breakout season, right? Like, felt like last year, my team definitely suffered a bit with some injuries, and so it made it a little bit tough. So trying to kind of give myself enough options at a few different spots that I can kind of piecemeal some things together if guys go down.
Oh, that is definitely the strategy to go with. And,
someone suggested Tucker. That was my pick.
Justin Tucker, the next kicker off the board to Jeremy here in round 9 after Trey goes with Zamir White at running back. Should be the starting running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. I haven't checked in with you yet. Trey, how are you feeling about your team overall?
Oh, fantastic, man. Always. I'm winning it. I'm calling it. I don't care what grade they give me, like C+, D-. I don't care. Undefeated.
14-4 season incoming?
If there was 18 weeks, yeah.
Is it all right? I guess 17 weeks plus the playoffs are in the final 2 weeks. So 15-week season? I think I said. I think that sounds about right.
Top 4 make it, right? That's what you put in the things.
Top 4 make it. Yeah, 18 league. Top 4 make the playoffs. So no room for error. Aaron Jones is off the board next. Again, going from Green Bay over to the Minnesota Vikings. So that is the next pick here in round number 9. And Adam is on the clock at the 6th pick of round number 9, which is David Montgomery of the Detroit Lions. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, you know what? I need a running back. I took a running back. Honestly, I don't. There's not really many good running back picks left, and I wanted to get one guy that I thought maybe can do some damage, especially if Goff can get some wins early in the game, or get some good touchdowns early, and the game's out of hand. Maybe some running there for Montgomery.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year, so a good pick there. Kyle Pitts goes to Richard. You're back on the clock, so I'll come back to you in a second. Brian Robinson Jr. and Joe Burrow going to Kent at the end of the 9th and beginning of the 10th. Is that the second quarterback to pair with C.J. Stroud there? And you take your first kicker off the board, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. Tell us about Pitts and Butker.
Well, Pitts is injured right now, but I feel good about my other tight end. So he's a nice backup if something does happen to my other tight end. And with the change of you get a point for how far you kick it, picking a guy who's got some leg might prove to be a little. I wanted Tucker, but he went, so I was just a little too short on that one. But that's all right. So we'll. Butker's got a good, strong leg, and we'll see if he can connect on some of those.
Yes, absolutely. Point for every 10 yards he kicks. So those 60-yard field goals will come in handy. Just think of how good Sergio Castillo would be as a pick in a fantasy draft with that kind of scoring system. We should adopt that one for the CFL League next year, changing it a little bit so that you actually get more points.
Well, I know who my keeper is.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, DeAndre Swift, another running back for you, Adams. Just trying to pad the running backs to go along with Devon Achane. You did go for a very minimal running back start, and now trying to catch up here in these later rounds. Dak Prescott going to Neil in round number 10. So Jordan Love and Dak Prescott is two quarterbacks there. Malik Neighbors, the next wide receiver off the board, rookie wide receiver for the New York Giants. He's going to be great this year. I feel like he's a steal in the 10th round of the draft for what he's got capable of. And Team Trey is on the clock. Zay Flowers goes to Team Trey. Tell us a little bit about Zay Flowers while I decide on my pick.
I'm just a guy that could probably going to sit on the bench for a little bit, but I think Lamar will have to dish it out. And Baltimore seems to have a lot of injuries on their lineup, so I could see a guy maybe being a bench player near that mid-season mark where it's playoff crunch time in fantasy. Could definitely do a bit. Yeah, we'll see. He's one of those guys I think that could have a decent projection, which might make your lineup look nice, but it always, Sunday comes.
I had him in, I think, both leagues I played in last year, and he did deliver, but in a lot of weeks beyond his projections. I like the pick. Let's see. I'm up here. Do I need more running backs? Probably. Do I see this guy on the board and really want to draft him, especially not knowing how long the number one receiver on the team is going to hold out? Heck yeah, I want T. Higgins here. To add to my wide receiver room. Week 1, if Jamar Chase isn't playing and T. Higgins is in there, I'm probably starting T. Higgins because I could see him getting a ton of targets from one Joe Burrow. And now we wait for Mike. Ten picks
on the board, just saying.
There's a lot of good players on the board. Like, I'm looking at this like, oh, shoot, I only have 3 bench spots left until I have to take my kicker and my defense. And there's a lot more than 3 players I want to put in those slots.
Yep.
Jaden Reed of the Green Bay Packers, next receiver for Team Mike. I feel like that's going to be another busy wide receiver room as the Packers. I don't think of everything going on there between, who do they all got? They got Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Devontae Wicks. Dontavian Wicks, sorry. I think I nailed him. Neil will tell me in the Yahoo chat if I got the top 4 receivers there in Green Bay. I think I did.
So Mike's drafted 5 wide receivers now?
5 wide receivers for Team Mike so far. Yeah, I also have 5 wide receivers, I believe. So padding out that bench a little bit. And I did get the 5 right for Green Bay. So go. And Chris Godwin, the next receiver off the board. So another Tampa Bay receiver. Mike loading up with his receivers with 6 of them so far. It is my turn up on the board, and I'm going to reach, I think, way down the draft board here a little bit and make this 3 separate leagues. I've drafted this guy in this year because who knows if Nick Chubb will ever actually truly return, and I want the starter in the meantime. I want Joel Ford at running back. Looked really good last year, and I think he's going to look good again this year when he gets the opportunity.
Nice pick.
Thank you. I try.
He meant my pick.
Oh, well, Devin Singletary. I think it's a good pick as well. Any thoughts other than needing a running back? Why him over some of the others on the board still?
He's usually a guy I like to go with. I'm actually surprised Houston let him go. He's only 26. And with Barkley leaving the Giants, you never really know who's going to get the majority of work there at MetLife.
The only reason I didn't want to go for Singletary is if the Giants go down big lots of times, like I think they might, are they going to play the running back? Otherwise, I would have been all over them.
That is fair. I mean, Barkley was still a suitable fantasy option the last couple of years when they had no offense over in New York, right? There's something to be said about being the only offensive option for a team. I say this all the time. You pick good players I would rather pick good players from bad teams than, the second or third option on a good team in a lot of cases, because they're still going to get some offense and it has to go to somebody.
Yep. Plus, he's my 3rd string running back, so I'm not too concerned right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would, my dynasty league with like 14 teams, this draft I would kill for.
I know. I come out of this draft like my team is stacked, and then I look at everybody else's teams like, oh, everybody else's teams are stacked.
It'll be 200 versus 200 every week, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Dallas Goedert goes next, another tight end off the board. Adam, you take to the defense. I believe that's the 2nd defense picked in this draft. Jeremy had San Francisco. You've got Baltimore. You got a lot of defensive options. Why Baltimore?
Baltimore, I think, is the number 1 rated defense in the whole league right now, and from the start of it, and I sure like usually a Baltimore defense, especially with the coach they now have. So, and I figured he's going next round, so I was like, I better pick him up quick.
All right. Speaking of defenses, we've got a couple more going off in the next few picks. Kirk Cousins goes to Richard, Jordan Addison, and Dallas's defense to Kent. And then, Richard, you take the New York Jets defense. Kirk Cousins and the Jets.
Yeah, I picked Kirk Cousins because he's got a multitude of weapons. He's got a great running game there. He's, if his offensive line can give him a little bit of time, he's got a great tight end. He's got a lot of different options. I'm kind of high on what Atlanta can do offensively. I don't know defensively yet, and the Jets, I'm hoping that Aaron Rodgers being healthy will give them, at least they won't be on the field for 40 minutes every game. So that's the hope anyways. We'll see. But even at 40 minutes on the field and how much time they were still a pretty good defense. So
yeah, Kirk Cousins lit it up at the start of last year before he ended up getting injured, right? Like he was looking good. See if he can bounce back this year. Adam goes with Tank Dell. So 2 Houston wide receivers for Team Adam. You've got 2 of the big 3 there loading up on that Houston offense.
Yeah, no, I'm high on Houston this year. Last year they had a great year, and boy, CJ Stroud with a few extra pieces, I think he's going to be really, really good this year. So
I think so too. I think they're going to be one of the top offenses in the league for sure. What are you talking about in the Yahoo chat here, Trey?
Well, it keeps saying it's deleting. So I didn't know it
weird.
sent. Interesting. Well, someone says a lot of ball game left for Trey. So I was like, for me? Like, why me?
Oh, I think that was when you took K. Dotton or something like that.
Oh.
I think that was. I think that's when that message
Yeah,
came
okay.
up.
Because my messages are being weird. That's why I said for me, and then it said message deleted.
Oh, interesting. Christian Watson, the next receiver off the board. Packers fan takes Christian Watson. Not surprised there. I think he could be the top Packers wide receiver. Ramondre Stevenson, running back off the board. And then, Trey, you're going with Caleb Williams to pair with Tua as your quarterback room.
100% rookie of the year. Let's go. Let's go get it, Caleb. He's gonna lead the Bears to a first round playoff exit. I see it.
Especially with quarterback coach Kerry Joseph leading them.
Damn right, man. Damn right.
Just like in 07. No? Nobody? Okay.
I don't remember that year.
I was like 12, man. Relax.
I'm going to continue my run of going off the board here, and we've got 2 IR slots, so I'm going to put him on the IR right away. So I'm going to draft Nick Chubb and throw him on the IR, so I have the Cleveland starting running back this year no matter what. And then there will be so many good options left on the board afterwards that I will just pick up a running back as soon as this draft ends. As Mike goes with the Cleveland defense, Adam, you're the Browns fan here. Tell us about your team's defense.
I mean, it'll be all right this year. I think it'll be pretty solid. They've always played that's one thing we've always taken pride of in Cleveland is getting after the quarterbacks. So I think they'll be good again this year. Piece-wise, I can't give you names because I'm terrible with names in the NFL. But as a group, they've been very solid for quite a few years. So I can't see Cleveland taking a step back in defense. We just can't ever seem to get our offense quite squared up.
Just in the NFL, you're terrible with names?
What? I don't mess up too many Justin Jake Hardys, do I?
Cleveland's defense to Mike Deontay Johnson to him in the next round. So really just a lot of wide receivers in a row to Team Mike here. He's really loading up on the options and skipping out on the running backs here. Interesting strategy. I actually expected him to go kind of the opposite. I expect him to go running back heavy. I'm going to continue the strategy from the last round and draft another guy that I'm going to put on IR and pick up somebody after the draft. I'm going to go with Brooks, who once he's healthy should be the starting running back for the Carolina Panthers. As Trey takes his kicker off the board, Jason Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, if Tua's going to be getting me all those touchdowns, Sanders will be getting me the point afters here. So it's fun.
And not a bad strategy. Not a bad strategy. Jaden Daniels at quarterback for Team Jeremy, pairing him with Jalen Hurts. So you get the proven guy in Hurts, and you get the rookie in Daniels. I like that combo. I think I might be the only one that's not going to draft 2 quarterbacks here, and that's fine by me.
I was close, but I was like, I don't want to risk it. This bunch seem wild. And I'm waiting for Adam to take his 3rd quarterback. So just like so
no. Just no. Even I know better than that. No. Sorry, Mike.
Kansas City defense going next. So a lot of defenses going off the board here in round 13. 2 rounds left in the draft after this. So we're nearing the end of the draft. Thanks to everybody who's joined us and tuned in and those that have been commenting in the chat. We've got a couple comments along the way. So thanks for joining us. Najee Harris to Adam. You think he can be a focal point of that Russell Wilson offense this year?
Absolutely. Russell Wilson is just going to throw the ball and have like a 25-point lead, and he's going to come in and clean up the second half. No, I just put him on my thing because you never know.
You never know. They are likely going to be a run-heavy offense. So Christian Kirk goes to Richard. Rashad Bateman from Baltimore, next receiver off the board, and Brock Bowers. I think that might be the third tight end for Kent here. Brock Bowers, the rookie there. So loading up on the tight end options. And you get another Seattle boy, Jackson Smith and Jigba here, Richard. Tell us about Christian Kirk and JSN.
Well, I picked Christian Kirk because I didn't realize that Calvin Ridley had moved on from Jacksonville. So I'm counting on a little higher target share for Christian Kirk to get there. He might even move up into the number 1 there. I don't know. We'll see who steps up. And then Smith and Jigba, I think with Metcalf is kind of hit and miss, and Lockett is definitely getting up in age, and I think he's lost a gear or two. So Smith and Jigba was clutch last year. He made some real nice end zone catches, and so yeah, might be a nice piece to play every once in a while. See how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best late round steals. I think I've picked him in a couple of drafts this year too. I think he's going to be a huge focal point of that offense. Jake Elliott, Adam takes as his kicker. You didn't have a kicker yet, I don't think, right? That's your first kicker off the board.
Yeah, that's my kicker this year. I think there'll be a lot of extra points for him.
Got that Philly offense there. Luke Musgrave from Green Bay at tight end. Evan Ingram at tight end. Makes sense. Xavier Legette to Trey at wide receiver. That might be the wide receiver that Chris is talking about.
It was, and he was been on my mind, but then as soon as Chris ruined it, I thought better take him this route just in case either you or Mike knew who he was talking about. But yeah, that's my. I've heard a lot of things that he might be one of those sleeper picks.
Well, I need to take a kicker in a defense, so it's not going to be me. And I think I will go with my kicker here first. And this is a shout out to all of our AFN friends. If we're getting a point, if each yard counts towards the point total, I want the guy who was the only kicker in the UFL to kick 260-plus field goals last year. I want Jake Bates, who's now with the Detroit Lions, as my kicker. I think he's going to light it up. I think he is going to be fantastic this year, as he was in the UFL. So give me Jake Bates. I'm so excited to get Jake Bates. And now we wait for Mike's final 2 picks of the draft. We have yet to see noted Cowboys fan Michael Garrell take a Cowboy off the board, and partially surprised, but partially not.
Just stunning. If he doesn't take Zeke, I mean, nope.
There's no way he's taking Zeke. Rico Dowdle, if anything. But he also doesn't have a kicker yet, so I could see him taking a kicker here. He's probably going to, I would imagine. Dalton Schultz, so getting a piece of that Houston offense as his backup tight end behind Dalton Kincaid. So a couple of Daltons here for Mike. And now which kicker will he take? And then I will lock in my defense pick. Which somehow ends up being the defense I've picked every draft this year because nobody takes them. And I don't know if that means a good or a bad thing.
Only Mike can make back-to-back picks feel like an hour. Oh, man.
There's a lot of kickers to pick from.
Just take Brett Maher.
Is he still in the league? I don't think so.
He's not active, but they have him listed in here. I was just walking around looking.
Kaimi Fairburn of the Houston Texans. So back-to-back Houston Texans for Mike. And for defense, there's a lot of good options on the board still. I'm not somebody that looks for one defense to play all season long. I look for the early season matchups, and then I'll drop them and pick up another. Richard, your team, the Seattle Seahawks, has a dream schedule to start the season, facing Bo Nix and the Broncos, and then Jacoby Brissett and the New England Patriots. So give me the Seattle defense here for some early season points, and then I'll drop them and pick up another once they disappoint me.
I do love that Jacoby Brissett was not like the coach was like, he was outplayed by Drake May, but we're going to start Jacoby Brissett. Like,
the betting lines for this game have the New England Patriots in week 1 slated to score 15 points. I think that might be one of the lowest totals I've ever seen.
And I feel like that might be high.
I think so.
You ready for this, Adam?
Oh, I'm ready for this.
There he is.
Yeah!
Off the board to try in the final round.
I don't even have a defense. We're going to have to make some magic happen here.
You could drop Kate Otten.
That's my plan. Yep.
Pittsburgh's defense going to Jeremy. So 2 defenses there. Jeremy is auto drafting this evening. Couldn't make it in for the draft. So Pittsburgh's defense goes off the board there. And we've got 4 picks left. Neil's final pick of the draft. Let's see what it is.
Who's the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh this year? Is it actually Russell Wilson?
It is Wilson with Justin Fields as the backup.
He's the backup. And then their third stringer is still
Rudolph?
Did they keep Rudolph?
I don't know.
I was just curious.
Steelers Nation, let's ride. Please, get off the ride.
Nope, Mason Rudolph is off to Tennessee now. I was going to suggest you pick him with your last pick there, Richard.
Russell Wilson?
No, Mason Rudolph. Just neither of these quarterbacks we brought in are going to work in Pittsburgh. So
now we're going to go back to what's someone picked my...
Oh, Keenan Allen. All right. Greg Zerwin, kicker out of the New York Jets, goes to Neil as his final pick. So he's done there. Legatron, that was his nickname. Jets QB is washed up, so Legatron will have plenty of deep field goals. Not a bad strategy for your kicker there. Keenan Allen going to Adam at the end of the draft here. That seems like a steal based on where he played last year. Wasn't he the number 1 receiver for like half the season?
For most of the season until, what's his name there? Love, I think it was? No, not Love. What the heck's his name? DJ
Moore.
Moore, yeah. Till he took over, Allen was the best guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a heel injury of some sort, but it sounds like he's probably going to play. Nice pick on Williams, though. That was the other one.
And Mike Williams of the New York Jets, your final pick of the draft. How you feeling about that one, Richard?
Well, he's on the injured, so we'll move him to the IR and see if he gets healthy. But, when he's healthy, he can produce. So, good for 15.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think he's a big receptions guy. He gets a lot of receptions. So
yeah, he's not going to break anything open, down the field, but possession receiver.
And the final pick of the draft, round 15, pick 120. It's not showing up on the draft board on the stream here for some reason, but it was Austin Eckler of the Washington Commanders. Boy, a fall from grace for Austin Eckler last year after being picked first round in a lot of fantasy drafts. He goes over to Washington now. He'll play it there with Robinson. I think Kent's got both Washington receivers or Washington running backs, interestingly. So he's got that committee going there. And that is it for our draft. Just to wrap things up here, we'll go through each. I won't go through everybody's teams, but we can talk about each of ours here. from the four of us. I'll go first because I was the first of us to pick. I had as my wide receivers, I've got CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Rashee Rice, T. Higgins. So I went a little wide receiver heavy early on. Can somebody message Mike back in the Discord channel and tell him, yes, we are still streaming and to hop in? If so, that would be great. Thanks. At running back, I've got Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Raheem Mostert, Jerome Ford, Nick Chubb, Jonathan Brooks. Those two guys can go on IR. I'll pick up a couple others there. My tight end is Trey McBride. My quarterback is Kyler Murray. So the Arizona stack there. Jake Bates at kicker. Seattle's defense for me as well. I feel good about my team. It's hard to gauge with a small group to pick from and lots of options left on the board, but I feel like I've got a good range of what I like at all positions. And unlike some of our other drafters here, you will never catch me picking more than one tight end, quarterback. Or quarterback in a draft, and always my kicker and defense in the last 2 rounds. Mike is here. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how is everybody?
Good, and you?
I'm at a tryout. So the easier part of my draft was the early part, the middle was the schmozzle, and by the end it was too little too late for me, but a lot of fun was had nonetheless.
Yeah, Team Mike, Puka Nacua, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, George Pickens, Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson at wide receiver. At running back, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Rashad White, and Lamar Jackson at quarterback, Dalton Kincaid, Dalton Schultz at tight end, Cleveland's defense, and Fairburn, the kicker there. You went very wide receiver heavy and only 3 running backs. Was that your strategy, Mike?
Gives me some trade options later on. I'm very happy with my first overall pick at Christian McCaffrey. That was a pretty easy slam dunk pick for me. It just did me some options. As most people know, opening night rosters don't resemble the end of the season rosters, some of which not even close. I just hope my trading record is a lot better in this league, if it should come to it, than our private fantasy league. But that's a discussion for another day.
All right, good luck to you this year, Mike. Your fellow Mike, XFL Mike G in the Facebook chat, says he likes your team and he's rooting for you. So good luck to you. Trey, you picked 3rd overall. Wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Zay Flowers, Xavier Legette. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Devin Singletary, and Ezekiel Elliott. Tight ends, Cade Otton, the mishap there. David Njoku following up the next pick there. Quarterback, Tua. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. Caleb Williams as well. And kicker, Jason Sanders, and you did not pick a defense. How do you feel about your team? You mentioned your draft strategy went out the window early on. How do you feel you adapted as the draft went on?
Oh, pretty good. And I've already fixed my Otton error. I got Chicago now, defense, and got rid of Cade Otton. It was more just, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good, Ryan. And actually, you and I play first weekend. Looking here. Woo-hoo! We play first week in this one, then we play second week in the AFN one. So a couple of weeks of you and me. But I'm liking it, man. I think I got some backup. I think I'm going to ease my rookie quarterback here into the season. We got the strong left-handed Tua. And I think we're pretty good. And as long as Tyreek Hill knows that he needs to get all those contract bonuses for all those kids he has, and I hope he'll have a good season too.
All right, good luck to you this year, Team Trey. Adam, you picked 6th overall. You have as well your wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., Tank Dell, and Keenan Allen. At running back, Devon Achane. Your second running back didn't come till round number 9. David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, and Najee Harris rounding out that group there. At quarterback, Josh Allen in round 2, Patrick Mahomes in round 6 drew some eyebrows, but as your draft strategy nonetheless. Travis Kelce at tight end, Baltimore's defense, and Jake Elliott at kicker. How did this draft go for you, Adam?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I mean, my strategy was pick quarterbacks earlier than usual, try to see if you can mess with someone, and Trey was rattled completely the whole night. He didn't know what to say, and it worked perfectly to my advantage. So, you know what? Honestly, I like my draft. I still got Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends in the league. I got a few of the guys that I wanted in running back, but not really many of them. I'll be honest, that was probably a weak point of my draft. But the wide receivers, I was quite happy with what I pulled in, especially in the high-end wide receivers. I really think Diggs and Jefferson are going to get me a lot of points. Evans is consistent, and Pittman can do good as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure who I play in week 1, but I probably will lose and be out of this in probably 3 weeks. So yeah, been fun though.
Well, you can always make that comeback. It can happen.
Yeah, I tried last year and I fell like 1 game short.
Yeah, you did make a big push last season for sure. Richard, you picked 7th overall. You had as your wide receivers Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, and then a run of other positions and 3 wide receivers in the draft: Christian Kirk, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Mike Williams. At running back, Travis Etienne Jr., Kenneth Walker III, Alvin Kamara. So I think those are your 3 running backs. Yes, they are. Sam Laporta and Kyle Pitts at tight end, Harrison Butker as your kicker, quarterbacks Anthony Richardson and Kirk Cousins, and your defense, the New York Jets. How do you feel about how your draft went tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with my beginning rounds with the receivers and the running backs. I mean, we'll see what happens there. I'm curious if there's any rookie running backs that come available or they have a breakout. That kind of seems like the position that there's all of a sudden a kind of a guy who you just are like, whoa, where did he come? I didn't see him coming, right? So, and then, the quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson, I liked him last year until he got his concussion problem. So if he can stay healthy, he's going to run in some touchdowns. He's got the mobility. So he's kind of a Lamar Jackson style, I think. So you might see some production that way. Kirk Cousins is a pretty steady, 35 passes a game kind of guy. So he'll be slinging it. But yeah, overall, I think got lots to work with for sure. So.
Well, fun fact: the draft day projections has Richard's team number 1. So.
Oh, there we go.
So you're
last year I was ranked last, I think. So
no, Trey was. He was ranked to. Trey was ranked to go 0-14 last.
That's right.
year.
It was ranked to go 14.
My flex defenders.
So
yeah.
Forgot that was your team name.
I just saw it now when I was trying to log in to get this, and then Adam, you have Jeremy week 1, and then you and I are week 2, and then I think I have Richard week 3. So it's a very
there we go.
Very heavy. Week.
I was just reading our comments here. XFL Mike, love presentation of show. That's what I want to do next season. Are we talking XFL CFL merger?
No, I think we're talking. About showing the draft board here. Next year, let's just combine all the leagues. Trey sent us something from Twitter. Didn't somebody do
hockey, basketball, and football all in one fantasy?
Oh man!
Yeah, who
and hockey and hockey. I seen that one.
Yeah, basketball, hockey, and football. That'd be wild.
I never get to the field.
Hockey and basketball throw it all off because they play midweek, right?
Yeah. How does that all work? How do waivers work? Imagine the waiver wire in the bidding.
Ryan, you'd almost have to be paid as a full-time commissioner.
I have enough trouble running this CFC private CFL league in a spreadsheet. I am not running something like that, but it sounds fun. But yeah, that's our NFL fantasy draft. So good luck to everybody this season. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody from the Discord who joined us in the league this year. Thanks, Richard, for joining us here on the stream tonight. Happy to have you here for the first time on this side of things instead of the comments section. Open invite to come back anytime you want. I'll get everybody to plug whatever they want to plug here right away. In terms of this podcast, we're back here right almost same time tomorrow night. Adam and I will be going through the week 14 CFL preview. I think it's week 14. So as the NFL kicks off, the CFL season rolls on here. We've got a lot of fun games to talk about there. We'll do the fantasy, the betting picks, the story, all that fun stuff. So join us tomorrow night for that. 10 p.m. Eastern time, live on all of the same streaming platforms you may have watched this on. So go subscribe over on the YouTube channel for that, or follow us on Twitter at CF Countdown Pod, or Facebook.com/CF Countdown Pod for all of that. Check out Canadian Football Podcast Network shows at CF Pod Network on Twitter. We've mentioned the Alternative Football Network a couple of times tonight. Check them out, the official AFN on Twitter, or alternativefootballnetwork.com. Richard, got anything you want to plug?
I don't need to plug anything. I'm just, hoping my team doesn't fare as well as the Titanic behind me.
Hopefully not. You could lose every week and still fare better. So
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a blast to have you here. And Adam, besides, back here doing the same thing tomorrow night, what you going to be up to in the meantime?
Oh, well, we'll see. If it dries up enough, I guess I'll go and fire a combine up and go and I guess I got to go and plug the benefits of wheat. It's got lots of gluten. You should really eat more wheat, because there's a pile of wheat coming off on the fields with this year, which is great. Not so much canola, so don't deep fry your wheat products. But nevertheless, I'll be going trying to combine a little bit, and then be back here for 8 o'clock SAS time, 9 o'clock Manitoba. We'll be back here for another podcast. We're doing week 14, talking about the biggest game of the week, the Alouettes and the BC Lions.
Rivalry week, bring it on.
Absolutely.
as they talk. Yeah, as they talk about big rivalry there. Trey, you mentioned it in the Discord earlier today, needing to step away from kind of the Thursday night preview shows for the next couple of weeks, so folks aren't going to be able to see you over there. But anything you wanted to plug, or where can people keep up with you in the meantime when they don't see you on the show?
You find me at the Twitter. I think I changed it back now to Trey MB Harness on the old X. That's where you can find me. I'll probably still post stuff there. Just, the media world, the job cuts come here and there, and I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was going to be this month, so I should have been better prepared. I thought it was going to be the end of the year, but nothing ever goes according to plan, right? So, I'll hopefully be around. Just, if anyone's hiring,
Sure, he's plugging himself tonight. That's perfect.
There we go. As he should. Yes, of course.
Any quick before we leave? Any quick shots on the Bombers or on the Rough Riders quickly, Trey?
Oh, how's that 1 point in the standings look now, Adam? That's all I gotta say, man.
I needed it before we go on tomorrow night. Just wouldn't be right. There you go. Thank you.
And by the time the game kicks off on Saturday, the BC Lions will be first in the West again. Well, they play Montreal, so maybe not. We'll see.
The Riders win.
Should be a fun week. And yes, of course, we'll miss Trey on the show the next couple of weeks, or the next little while, however long it will take as well. And of course, we wish you all the best in the hunt over the next little while. And he's still in the Discord, so chat with him there. Join us in the Discord. That's an extra perk. Join the Discord. You still get to chat with Trey once in a while. Got to market that. The link is in the episode description. It's free to join us over there. Maybe get in on next year's fantasy draft. Whatever podcast platform you're listening on or watching this on, we appreciate it if you do all the fun things such as like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, share the show with your friends, help us grow the show. We always appreciate that. On behalf of everybody drafting tonight, on behalf of Trey and Adam and special guests Richard, I'm Ryan saying thank you for listening. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.